spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation.
Spark a dream that we're meant to follow.
You're listening to the Extra Magic Hour, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider. Join the team in the studio as they bring you the spirit of Disney through park news, history, and tips and tricks to make your Disney Parks vacation even more magical.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Extra Magic Hour. This is Shawn. I'm so excited. We have a special show for you tonight. It's just me tonight because I had the opportunity this week to interview Kim Fidler from Getaway Today, who is our sponsor. They're an amazing Disney, Universal, cruise line, Vegas, San Diego, you name it. They can get you anywhere you want to go and help you plan your trip entirely. I had the chance to sit down and talk to Kim about how the company got started, some specials they have up right now, and learn a little bit about Kim. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our conversation with Kim Fidler from Getaway Today. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Extra Magic Hour. I'm so excited that we have Kim Fidler from Getaway Today here with us today. We're going to talk about Getaway Today. We're going to talk about what they offer. We're going to talk about Kim. We're going to talk about Halloween time and Disney hotels and everything. Kim, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining us.
So great. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
No, it's an honor to have you. And I like before you got on, I was telling you thank you. You know, you set up the hotel tour that Nicole and Breanna did with you guys. And thank you for inviting us. That was so much fun. I know they had a blast doing it. I know we've actually on our website, I think we put all the hotels on there and we're working on other content and stuff that we did from there. But they had such a good time and they sent me pictures all day and said, oh my God, this hotel, this is so close to the park. And I didn't know all this. I go to a few hotels there and that's
right.
it. When I go from King, there's so many. And it was cool to get a different view of completely different things. So we're going to talk about the amazing company Getaway Today. And if for those of you that don't know, they started in 1990. They have helped over 6 million people enjoy vacations with Disneyland Resort and everywhere else. I know I had Jen on a long time ago, and she explained that part of the process when you guys got started was that you were buying tickets at like a mass quantity and then Disneyland's like, wait a second, who is this? And what's you doing?
What's going on? Right.
So you guys don't just do Disney, you guys do Disneyland Resort, Walt Disney World, Universal Studios, Hollywood, SeaWorld, San Diego, Orlando, San Diego Zoo. I was looking at your site. You guys do cruises, and I have always been afraid of a cruise. But then I watched last week. I watched that cruise ship being dedicated. I'm like, okay, I turned 50 next year, so maybe that might be an idea. So
good time.
I'm definitely thinking about it. So do me a favor, start off and just kind of. Can you tell us, kind of recap for our listener? Because Jen was on in the middle of the pandemic, but kind of how did Getaway Today actually get started?
Yes, so it was Jen's family, which is just awesome. So it started in 1990, as you mentioned. Jen's parents took them and their little family of 5 at the time, so 2 adults and the 3 kids, to Disneyland, and they had such a great time. But they were also like, man, that was pretty pricey. Right. And Chuck and Julie, our founders, they're really just innovators, and they're always trying to figure things out. They're awesome people. So they're like, we can do it better. And they started, like you mentioned, buying Disneyland tickets directly. And then they went around and started contacting hotels. And the idea was to get like a group price, like a group discount to be able to sell in bulk, but to let people pick their own vacations. So they're like, we can offer discounts and values and make sure that we're offering a good product to the public at a value, at a discounted rate. So they don't have to pay full price because it's a big deal to go on vacation.
Oh,
and
for sure.
They know that, and they want to make sure that everybody's getting the best value for their money and having a great experience while doing it. So, it started back in Anaheim with one hotel and buying a bunch of Disneyland tickets.
What was the hotel? Do you remember? Do you know?
I do know, and it's changed names a number of times, but it is now the 4 Point Sheraton. So they have like, they're famous for their 24-hour or pool, which is kind of fun. But
Nice.
it used to be, I can't remember what it used to be, but Jen used to go with their family all the time. They like pretty much had like the penthouse reserved for their family. So they would they felt very special, very VIP. Pretty fun.
That's awesome. They're great. Like I said, I've always seen them and heard from them. And you guys do a lot of work with Provost Park Pass, and yes. Every video they mention you guys and they talk about you guys, and they're great people. I've interviewed Chris and Amanda and Miles a long time ago, like during the pandemic as well. And there's just so we interviewed Miles after we did everything. We brought him on and we talked and we just asked him a bunch of questions. And I think he might have been like, I think he's 5 now or something like that.
He's 5 now. Yeah.
I think he was like 3. I think he was 3 because it was like around Easter of 2020. So like around. Man. Yeah. So and he just rambled on, and it was like a good 5 minutes of Miles after we did the interview. And they're such great people. And I know Nicole and Breanna, they got to meet Amanda when they met all you guys down there, and they just absolutely loved her. And
she's a gem.
Yeah. They're great people. And I love their positivity, and you guys do that same kind of positivity with what you guys do, what you guys put out. You guys, so we went there. So like I said, when I talked to Jen a couple of years ago, when I first started this podcast, when, I reached out to you guys and I'm like, checked about this and this affiliate thing. I'm like, this is the coolest thing. I mean, I know we're not a big fish in the pond, but I'm loving this. I love talking about you guys. And when we had her on, it was right in the middle of the pandemic. So, So during the pandemic, what was your takeaway for the company? Because I know when I talked to her, there were no hotels open, and I was like, she wasn't like, I don't know what we're even going to be doing. And it was, it'll be back in a few months, and then a year and a half later. So what's your guys' biggest takeaway from that? Were you with them then?
I was, yep. So okay. I stayed on the whole time. It was a rough time, as everybody knows. We had this big, robust team. We had started out 2020 with our 30th anniversary. It was our biggest year. We kicked it off in Disneyland in January with our whole team there. Mickey Mouse came. We had the birthday cake, all the great things. So we were on this roll. We were like having our best year ever. And then obviously that happened. So, and when, at that point in time, most of our business was Disneyland. We did other things, but we didn't do them nearly to the frequency that we did Disneyland. So once Disney World opened again, we were like, you know what? Now we sell Florida. And Jen and I were on the phones taking phone calls. We put away our marketing hats. We put away our regular responsibilities, and we were helping guests book vacations to Florida. And it was kind of that shift where we really immersed ourselves in Walt Disney World Resort, Universal Orlando, and just grew that side of the business. And we have grown our concierge team so much. Like I can't even believe how much we've grown in Florida. So it's been good for us. We've been able to streamline. We've been able to do things better. But man, I'll tell you, that day that Disneyland opened, it was this collective sigh of relief and tears.
Imagine. You guys were there, weren't you guys there? They had opened?
So yes and no. So the very first day was April 30th, but you may remember that was only available to California residents at the time.
That's right.
So, but you could travel there. You just couldn't go in the parks. So Jen and I actually were there. We were part of Anaheim's comeback team, and we were able to take just a few of our very top partners who had been kind of with us through the whole thing. Right. And we were able to tour some of our top selling Anaheim hotels. Our guests that checked in were some of the first guests that had checked in since the pandemic ended. Like it was their first day of opening after the pandemic. So that was really special to be part of, even though we weren't able to be in the parks. And then when they opened to out-of-state visitors on June 15th, both Jen and I were in the parks. And
that's awesome.
I think crying on Main Street.
Right. I went in July, the beginning of July, and I'm like, dang, this is crazy. And they had just taken the masks off, and then they went back for a bit, and they went back and forth.
Yes.
But they it was surreal. Like you said, so many things that were put off. I remember we had this huge, I had my family, and then like 15 other people. We had 20 people. We had an Airbnb booked in Anaheim for the week after Disneyland closed. Ugh. And it was, I remember that Friday, they're like, oh, they're not going to close this Disneyland. There's no way. And I'm on the phone and I get a call and they're like, yeah, they closed. I'm like, there's no way. This is a week away. I already have the address to the Airbnb. And what am I going to do? And we're going to go down anyway. And we're going to go down and just have a good time. And then they put all the restrictions and you can't go to California. I'm like, what the heck? And then I won't get into the Airbnb debacle of me getting my money back and stuff, but yeah. And just seeing, like you said, all the joy and everyone of coming back, and it's great. So it sounds like what you're saying is like, I'm in the car industry. I work for an auto dealership, and the pandemic has helped us. I'm not going to lie. And it sounds like it kind of helped because it made you guys, like you said, shift into other avenues.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yeah. On the other end, we've definitely come out stronger and better. Good. And good. I would say much more appreciation. We always loved the theme parks, of course, but oh man, like anytime I go, I will never take it for granted again.
So you said, like, when you went there for your 30th, and this isn't even one of our questions, I squirrel a lot, so just deal with me. I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it.
So you said that there was Mickey Mouse and cakes and stuff. So
yeah,
is Disney supportive of you guys and what you do?
Absolutely.
You communicate with them all the time, right?
Yes, all the time. We are Disney's very first partner, or their very first wholesale partner from the beginning of time. We were the first partner that they reached out to when they thought that maybe people would buy a 2-day ticket. In the past, people would just go for the 1 day, one and done. That was it. And then when California Adventure opened, they were like, okay, this really needs to be a 2-day experience. And we were the first company to offer that outside of Disney.
For sure. That is awesome. I think that's amazing. We've talked about it a little bit, but can you tell me what makes Getaway stand out from other Disney travel companies, and what kind of what services do you guys offer to your people? So, I mean, I know there's a lot. So what do you guys do?
Yeah. So I think one of the things, and I hope it comes through, but it's just our passion and love for Disneyland, for our guests. We really care, and we understand how valuable that vacation time is with your loved ones. So I think that definitely sets us apart. Because we were Disneyland's first contract, and because we started working with the hotels first, we have these long-term established relationships where our guests get taken care of. I don't want to say like more than anybody else, but sometimes more than anybody else.
That's good. I mean, if you have to say it.
It is. I know, right? So for example, like, with the theme park reservation system, that's been really tricky. Some people don't know. We do our very best to educate our guests. We let them know, but every once in a while something happens. Because of our relationship with Disney and because they know how well we educate our guests really do get priority. So let's say something happened and somebody's reservation's messed up. They're like, oh, you know what? They're with Getaway Today.
That's awesome.
Like they can't guarantee that every single time, but really, like, they just know. We have that type of reputation and relationship really cool. with the ticketing team, with the hotel reservations team, and then with the sales team, of course. So I think that makes a big difference. We are in constant communication with our guests. We send them reminders when it's time to make theme park reservations, dining reservations. We help them save money on their tickets always. We also have our, you're never penalized for booking early. So let's say you buy well in advance, which we recommend because you just are going to have a better experience, and it's fun to have something to look forward to. But if it gets closer and some deal comes out, you're not penalized for that. We'll honor that deal for you. So there's a lot. And then we're just available all the time. I shouldn't say all the time, but kind of. So our office is open 9 to 7, Monday through Thursday, and then 9 to 5 on Fridays. But we also have a social media team that's available, and we have a customer service available on the weekends if somebody's traveling and they run into an issue, somebody gets sick, or they, had a flat tire, or something needs to be rescheduled, or they want to extend, they want to switch hotels, anything at all. Our team is there to back you up and support you. And because we have those relationships, the hotels just work so well with us.
How big is your team?
So right now we're about 50 employees total.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
It's pretty fun.
And you're all based in Utah?
We're all based in Utah.
That's so cool. That's so much fun. You mentioned reservations, and it's been a hot topic for the past year. Right. Do you think they're ever going away?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But I will say, I checked, they're totally open right now. Like July through, you can book through November 9th right now. Every day is open for park hopper tickets at this
And that's
moment.
With buying tickets, correct?
Not necessarily Magic Keys, right?
Yeah.
But tickets, if you were to purchase tickets, they're available. Magic Keys, I'm sure there's availability, but obviously not every day.
Right.
But I think Disney really is going to rely heavily on that for proper staffing and food orders, all the things that just logistically, I think it makes a lot of sense for them to know who's going to be in their parks.
I completely agree with you. People are like, oh no, it's a terrible thing, and they're managing. I'm like, it's not terrible. They probably would have liked to have done this years ago, and they had the pandemic to actually plan this. Say this is going to be amazing for us, especially when you don't have all of your cast members back. So that you can plan on Wednesday, we're going to allow 50,000 people so we can have enough cast members. Or why would you ever go back? I think it's a brilliant idea. It's frustrating. Obviously I have a magic key. So, but I don't go all the time. So I can't, like right now, I can't go in July or August, and that's fine. But it is what it is. I don't have that key, but that's fine. Yeah. But reservation wise, I think it's brilliant. I think I saw on your guys' page, you guys did think about Genie. What do you think about the Genie? Does the Genie help you, or does it hinder what you guys do?
For us, it's perfect. It really is designed for our type of guests. Our guests are typically the ones who do like a once a year, hopefully big time vacation. And when they go, their time is super valuable. The way I look at it, when you're at Disneyland, you're either paying with your money or your time. So if you only have 3 days in the park, do you really want to spend 2 hours in line, or would you rather spend 20 minutes in line and $20? And that's Disneyland fair. with their Genie Plus, it's incredible. You really can do almost every single attraction.
Oh, absolutely.
If you have a park hopper. It's not the case in Florida. In Florida, they're like, yeah, we still expect you to be able to do 3 attractions per day with Genie Plus. In California, that wouldn't fly. But here, it's just, for us, it's a no-brainer. It's a game changer for sure.
I think that's why it's more money here too, because you can do everything.
Yes, you can do much more, but also it includes your photo pass, and it does not include your photo pass in Florida, which normally photo pass is $20. So I don't know. I think it's a great value.
Perfect.
But I do understand. I mean, when you're talking, a family of 5 and 3 days, you're like, oh, is it really worth it? I think it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Plan on budgeting for it.
So, and then before I want to talk about you a little bit and how you got started with them, but I want one more question. Then we're going to talk about you, then back into some more getaway stuff. Another question. You said you set reminders for your guests to like go book. So you can't book from your system, right? You can't book like their shows or their dining from.
We typically don't, because that's done through the app, and it's
I'd always been curious about that.
All of that stuff.
Right. I'd always been curious how that works. So
yes, if somebody needs extra hand holding, call us, and we're happy to do that with them. But typically, as a rule, the system's pretty seamless. We just want to make sure that they know and that we're available to help answer and guide.
I know David, he's one of our hosts, and I'd reached out to you guys last July because he wanted to come. And I said, hey, can you guys help David out? And he called someone, I think I emailed you, and someone emailed him back like within 30 minutes, and they did everything for him. He said that he said that they held my hand and walked me through, because I don't know what the heck I was doing. So, but yeah, it's okay. So I want to get into you a little bit, because it's about you. You're the vice president of marketing for Getaway Today.
Yes.
So you do all their social media, you handle all that stuff, you advertise, and that's all you, correct?
Yes.
How'd you get started with them?
So I've been with Getaway Today for almost 19 years now.
Nice.
And this really ages me, but so at the time I was in college, I was working for Delta Airlines when September 11th happened. So I already had my foot in the door with travel, was in love with the industry in general. That happened. Obviously that just changed the entire travel world. So our office closed. I was kind of like looking for something. I found a little, like part-time something somewhere else. And then I saw in our local newspaper, that's how cool. I used to find jobs, a little ad for.
Remember that back then? You had to actually had to work.
I know. It's like so funny. Like when I tell people, like, how did you get? I'm like, well, I saw it in the newspaper, and I called the phone number, like in the olden days. So that's how I got started. And I started working in reservations, and then customer service, and then started working with our client base, and moved into marketing. So
awesome. That's fun. So what is your favorite part about working with them?
Oh man, there are so many things. I really say the number one thing is the positivity, to work with people who have that similar goal and mindset of just helping families create magical moments and doing it in a way that spreads love and light. I love that.
That's awesome.
I obviously am a huge Disney fan. So I'm like, some days I'm just like, is this really my life? Is this really my job? This is just to bring happiness and joy to so many people and be with like-minded people is really incredible. Okay.
Next question. Tell us, basically you just say you love Disney. Tell us about your Disney story and your love of Disney. Like what is it that got you attracted to? I mean, obviously we all do this for a reason. I have Walt Disney tattoos on my arms. So, I mean, we all do this for a different reason. So what's your Disney story? I mean, is it a family thing, or is it? Tell me about your love for Disney.
It's ironic, but it's not a family thing. I come from a family of like non-theme park people.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up about 20 minutes away from Disneyland. I was born in Orange, California.
Okay.
And I went to Disney. I lived in Disney. I lived in California until I was almost 12, and my family went to Disneyland 3 times in that entire time.
Oh man. I
know once was for my 3rd birthday. So I have a picture of me with like Pluto and I'm holding a corn dog. So that checks out.
Right.
And then I think I'm trying to remember the other time we went, but I remember the time I really remember was with my cousins, and they came down to visit because we were moving to Utah. So they were like, okay, this is our one last visit to them down in California. I remember riding Space Mountains with my cousins, and it's so dark, and I was screaming because I was so scared. And then all of a sudden I was like, it's okay. It's okay. So I stopped screaming, but then my cousin was worried about me because she thought like I fell out. So she started like grabbing for me. And then I thought she was trying to push me out. So I started screaming again. It was like this whole ridiculous thing. But I think it just is a magical place, and I just love it. It's a place where you can go and, as you know, just not worry about the world. And then taking my kids there, I've taken my kids there when they were babies. Right. And it's a magical place for us.
I'm from Simi Valley, which is about 40 miles from there. So I would go every Friday after when I was in high school. I would go get out at 2:30. I'd go like every other Friday, whenever I could, and go get out there by 4 until they closed at midnight. And it was like $20 back then. So why wouldn't you do this twice a month? You know what I mean?
Right.
I just fell in love with the whole atmosphere and who's this Walt Disney guy, and then just going down that rabbit hole of who he was and who he, just everything about him. And then it's just. My kids have gotten into it and everything like that. And it's the same kind of thing. that's that love you have for it. So,
yeah.
Okay. So, who's your favorite character and why?
Cusco and Kronk.
I would never have expected that answer.
I just am obsessed. I don't know. I think it's like the best thing. My husband and I used to ditch college and like go see it in the movie theater. I just love it so much.
I would never have even guessed that answer, but hey, that's why we do this.
I'm going to show you. I have a picture of Kronk framed in my office that was done by Disney's like art. I can't remember. Stacia. What is her title? She's the like in-house artist.
Oh, nice.
For Disney. They did that for us one year.
That is awesome.
We went down to Disney for our annual fam trip, and they surprised all of us with our favorite character. They found out who everybody's favorite character was before we went down. And
how do I become part of this family?
I know.
I mean,
Utah. You're welcome.
That's it. I just have to move to Utah.
Yeah, that's all you have to do, and it just happens. I'm just kidding. Okay. You are part of the family.
I know. But I want to come to your family trip. This sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But what's your favorite ride?
Oh, I love Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Guardians. Right? I would say, that's my favorite.
Were you angry when they said they're closing Tower of Terror? I
was not angry, but I had concerns.
Same. I was like, what? That's a great thing. Why would you do that? I'm all about not changing anything, but Joe Rohde's doing it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So Jordan, who's our art manager here, she does a lot of our graphics and images. She was able to go to the opening of Guardians.
Oh, wow.
And she wrote it with Joe Rohde. It was like, somehow it turned out it was just like her and like 3 Disney people, including Joe. And she's like, I don't understand what's happening right now. Like I just don't even know how I'm existing in this moment. Isn't that wild?
That's what. And again, I probably thought you'd pick like Small World or something, but I'm loving that you pick Guardians is in my top 3. I have Pirates, Big Thunder Mountain, and then Guardians are like, and you can probably go back and forth at Big Thunder and Guardians, but Pirates is my ultimate favorite.
And in land, my favorite's Big Thunder. So Big Thunder and Guardians, those are my top 2.
That's awesome. So, okay. So, favorite place to take a break in the parks. So like, if, just to kind of chill or relax. I mean, there's so many, so.
That's a really great question. I haven't given that a ton of thought. Like rest in a park. I don't know.
I know, right?
Like, what does that mean? I'm like, pirates. That's where I rest.
Right.
Like, I rest on pirates. I rest on Small World. It's true.
Yeah.
Like
that's a half hour out of your day. There you go.
Exactly. So that's my resting. I will say, I just love Alien Pizza Planet, and just feeling like you're kind of tucked back in that area. That feels like you're kind of like in a ride, but not. So.
So that's the pizza place there?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
I like it. I think I know the answer to the. Oh, no, hey, before I get there, if you can have any job in any Disney park, what would it be?
Ooh, any job in any Disney park?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. I think I would like to be a VIP tour guide.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to be able to give people those little inside tips and tricks and just show the magic on an intimate level.
We had in 2017, we were fortunate enough, we were able to do that. We had 17 people in our group. So we had 2 tour guides, and it was the best. It was the best time ever. And I remember Andrew and Jonathan were our tour guides. I remember them distinctly. I've seen Andrew in the park since, like, he's in a suit now, so he must not be doing tour guides anymore.
Interesting.
But it was funny because we're on there, and I try to act like I know stuff. And I asked him, I said, so is there really a BB hole in Haunted Mansion? And I asked Jonathan, and he goes, no, that's not true. I'm like, okay, cool. And then and Andrew says, wait a minute, how do you know about that? And
yeah.
And so then and that guy was great. He sat with me on every ride and told me that all, underneath Small World is all the decorations for the holiday. That's where they store it.
Awesome.
And then he says, and then he tells me that's the only remaining Small World character is the Cleopatra. Everything else has been redone.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm like,
I love stuff like that.
Yeah. The dude's just going like this the whole time, just hitting me with, but I could see anyone from your company being a VIP tour, honestly, because you guys have that drive and that mentality, and the people that you surround yourself with. I came on Sunday after they did the tour, and I had a chance to meet you, and I met most of the people that were on the tour, and the group of people you guys have that work with you guys, the insiders, the kids,
they're so fun.
Kelly Warner, the theme park mom. I'm interviewing her this afternoon, actually, for down the road. But it's just you guys all have that same mentality, and I could see that. But back to Andrew real quick. He says we didn't get a chance to do Radiator Springs during our tour because we ran out of time. So he gave us like all these like passes or something, and we saw him the next day in the park, and he remembered our family and said, hey, did you get a chance? And he made sure that we got him. Like, yeah, they're great. And
that's so special.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Yeah. I go down there, and this last time I went down to Disneyland, when I went in May, when I came by myself, and I've never done that. And it was just crazy to take 3 days and take that in by myself. And I met lots of people and had friends that I met up with and stuff, but to just come down, and I usually when I was married, I would plan every trip for my whole family. I'd plan for the 20 people. I would plan the hotel we're staying. It's the Best Western. It's this one. It's that one. We're going to stay at this one. We're going to go cheap, or we going to the Grand California. What are we going to do? And we'd plan every time. And I'd plan it all like to the day, to the moment, what we're doing. That's just who I am. And it was great to go down and experience it this way by myself and like sit there on the bench and watch the flag retreat ceremony and just chill with the Starbucks for like an hour after that. It was the best. It was the best time. So yeah, I say another squirrel. I apologize.
I love it.
I think I know this answer. So Disneyland or Disney World for you personally?
I am a land girl at heart.
Yeah.
I love World. World. I did say I would not take my kids to Disney World until they were like 12. But then the pandemic hit, and I will say we have our 3rd trip since December of 2020 scheduled for 2 months from now.
Nice.
So we've gone, and I
adapt.
personally have gone 2 more times, but I'm taking my kids for their 3rd time, and
there you go,
like
that's
once a year now. Like who would have thought?
That's so cool. In your opinion, what's the ideal amount of time that you'd plan for a Disneyland resort trip? Like how many days?
Well, I'm a little extreme. So for most of our guests, 3 days is kind of that perfect number, sweet spot. But I don't like to be rushed. I don't want to feel like I have to cram everything in. So I like to do the 5 days so that you land, you maybe just go in for like a little taste, kind of like, we call it like our bonus day. We're like, oh, we just like, get to do, if you have Genie Plus, like really, you can get a lot done. Like I did this with my kids in April. We did Matterhorn. We did Small World. We did Big Thunder, and I think one other. And we were only in the park for like 2 hours.
Right.
And then we were still able to chill. And then I like kind of like 3 full park days. And then like, okay, let's just go in and maybe do breakfast at Plaza Inn, or, you know, just keep it chill. I
did the Plaza Inn Electrical Parade dining package.
Oh, fun. Did you like it?
I loved it. It was great.
Good.
And they had great seats for the show. It was awesome. I absolutely loved it. I love it. The chicken's amazing. So same question for Walt Disney World. How many days would you plan? If you wanted to see it all, are you there like 10 days? Is that is that it?
Yes, you're there for 10 days and you're not seeing it all because you can't possibly. Mm-hmm. So when we did, and I also will say, I know this is totally Disney, but I love Universal Orlando. Mm-hmm. Like it's incredible.
That's fine.
So I'll do like a split
Breanna's
stay.
a huge Universal fan. She has passes at both, and she loves
It's so great. So we'll normally do like 3 to 4 days at Universal Orlando and then like 7 days at World. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're doing this time. We're doing 6 nights at the Caribbean Beach, which I never have stayed at. We normally do Art of Animation with my kids because they love the car suite, and we have to be on the Skyliner. Like we're obsessed with it. So this is our first time being at Caribbean Beach, and I love that there's Skyliner. You don't have to get off and transfer. So that's what we're trying this time.
There you go. So I want to get back in. I asked you when we were talking about doing this, a couple of things that you wanted to touch on, and you said you wanted to touch on some of the specials that the Disney hotels themselves are offering right now. So kind of tell us what's going on at the hotels right now. Because I know there's a lot that's changed. Extra Magic Hours coming back.
Yes, that's the number one thing. Right. Really, early entry is coming back, and it's going to be different than it was
before.
Great
name for the podcast, actually.
Imagine that. Hey. So might catch on.
Yeah, we'll see.
But early entry, it's now available both parks every day, and it's only for hotel guests, and it's half an hour. So that is a big difference. It used to be like certain days of the week were only land, certain days of the week were only California Adventure, and it used to be available on 3-day and longer pre-arrival tickets. So it was a much larger group. So I'll actually be there for the opening of early entry. Jen and I are going to go down. We're going to be staying on property because it really will change the morning time experience. It will likely change rope drop for people. It will, it'll just be interesting to see that impact and how much you can really get done with that extra half hour as a hotel guest, and then see if that impacts greatly people who aren't staying on property. So we're going to be checking that out. That's the main thing. But also, like beginning August 8th, you can start sending your purchases in the park back to your hotel if you're staying on property, which is a huge change. It feels like so many things that we were just waiting for these last little pieces to be back are back now. Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique is opening on August 25th. Like that feels so normal, so big to have some of those things back. But as far as the hotels go, there are a few little soft spots where we have up to 25% off on 4-night stays. So it's kind of like getting your 4th night free there. With the Disneyland Resort hotels, we just recommend booking as early as possible because they do sell out. And it's not so much that our price will go up, but our room type will sell out. And then you have to go up to the next level of room type. So
I actually saw that because I was going back and forth when I went down there. Do I stay here? Do I stay here? And I wound up staying at Paradise Pier. And and I watched the rates change like 3 times in a matter of like a month. I'm like, do I do it? Do I do it? Do I not do it? I'm not sure. And then I just finally did. I'm like, screw it. I did it. And I loved it. I've never stayed there. I've stayed at the other 2.
Okay.
I've had the upper floor with the view. Just
nice.
It was amazing. It was.
Did you watch World of Color from your room?
I could see it. Yeah, it was like literally right there. I'm like, this is absolutely amazing. So it was so much fun. But I enjoyed it. It was nice. And again, treated myself. Why not?
Good for you.
Yeah.
Did they have the private entrance open for you yet?
It was not. It opened the week after.
Of course it did. Of course it
was
did.
The week after. It was because I went the week before Memorial Day, and I think right after Memorial Day they opened the private entrance. But that looks cool too.
Yes, and
that makes it worth it, I think.
Yes, I feel like that's a game changer. I mean, like people always love the Grand. They always love the Disneyland Hotel. Like those are like they're no-brainers. Everybody loves them. Right. But Pierre's kind of always been like, as soon as they opened that extra entry, we started booking it like crazy again. So,
and where is it? It pops out behind Goofy,
Corn
right?
Dog. Corn Dog Castle. Yeah, I go by, of course. The cheese stick.
There you go. Goofy corn dog.
Exactly. You can mobile order while you're scanning your ticket and go pick up your corn dog right when you get there.
I think it's brilliant.
It is. Yeah. And for that particular entrance, you just have to be staying at any of the Disneyland properties. So you could actually walk over from, like if you're doing the Disneyland Hotel and you didn't want to walk through downtown Disney to get into to DCA, you could use that entrance as well. You just need a room key.
Yeah, we were, I know when we walked over there, we were able to walk right through we were going with the Grand Californian, which was pretty nice. I'm like, yeah, I like this,
Yeah.
I've stayed at all of them, but I really like Paradise Pier. Are you excited for the change?
I am. I did love the beach theme. I think it's really cute, but Pixar just feels
That's about time, actually.
Yeah.
I hope they do it right.
Good.
Everyone's worried they're not going to do it right.
I get that. But every time I've worried about it, I'm like, okay, why was I worried about that? It's Disney.
Guardians,
exactly. Right. I always go to Guardians. I'm like, and it was the best thing ever. So how could I even think that?
It's so much God, I love that so much. I'd love Guardians so much.
And sometimes I get a little bit nauseous, but I don't care. I'm like, let's do it again.
Dramamine. I found out about Dramamine this last trip too. I'm like, if I take this in the morning, I'm going to be fine. And because I do the same thing, you get off, you're like nauseous for like 10 minutes after, but I was great. So
perfect.
Anything else with the hotels coming up?
No, again, just book early. Those on-site property perks are back and I think more valuable than ever. So we'll be excited about that.
Last topic I want to talk about that you said you were very passionate about was Halloween.
Halloween time. This is Halloween. Yes, that's our most popular time of year to go.
I was going to ask, is it one of the most popular?
October is our busiest month for travelers at Getaway Today, hands down. In Utah in general, we're super hardcore about Halloween. I don't like scary or spooky, but I love like cute, festive, like Disney Halloween is 100% my jam. Love it so much. We'll be there for the kickoff. Of course, Mickey Pumpkin on Main Street.
Yes.
Boo Bash sold out way faster than we thought that it would. I was very surprised.
I've heard people say that they don't think they're completely sold out, that they're holding.
They might be. I wonder if it's a staffing issue, like if they're trying to like
staff up,
gauge. I mean, I really don't know. I'm hopeful that they'll start releasing more tickets, but our biggest thing is that our guests just are aware. So for example, when like an Oogie Boogie Bash comes out, we emailed all of our guests before the tickets went on sale. We're like, hey, FYI, these are coming out. If you want to go, this is where you get them, because Disney's the only one that sells them, because as you see, they just go quickly. But also it's really important for planning, because if you're planning your day at DCA and you don't realize that the park closes at 6 and you don't have a park hopper, that's really unfortunate. Or if you were planning on World of Color that night or something, it's just really important for planning. And we always recommend the park hopper for flexibility. You never know when an after hours event is going to happen.
Do you need a reservation for the after hours events? Do you have to have park? You don't. Okay.
Nope.
I wasn't sure about that. So.
Your party ticket is
get you in. Okay.
Yep. It's your admission.
So Halloween starts, September 6th, right?
That's September 2nd.
September 2nd.
It's the earliest ever. Last year it started on the 3rd.
Well, I think we know why.
Yeah, I think so. D23 is throwing everything off this year. Yeah. I'm angry about the D23 thing. I don't understand why it's not in August. Don't get it.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because I was thinking about that too, because it always has been in August, right?
It has always been in August.
I wonder if they did this to incorporate the D23 into the Oogie Boogie into the Halloween. I mean, it could be.
They sure could have. It just ruined my life for a minute. I let it ruin my life. I'm like, we can't plan anything. We can't predict anything. We don't know when Halloween's going to start. We don't know when Oogie Boogie Bash is going to start.
Right.
It took September's normally when we really encourage our guests to go, because you can still get Halloween time without the crazy crowds that October brings. I'm like, we can't do that anymore. What is going on? I still recommend going for Halloween, and even the D23 weekend, because during the day, most people are going to be over at that convention center. Right. It'll just be the evenings that get a little exciting.
I get there on Wednesday of D23 week.
Perfect.
And I have my reservations for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't know if I'll use them on Saturday, depending on what happens there. But I'm excited because coming in September, that they will actually have Haunted Mansion Holiday open, which I love. So I'm excited.
It's my favorite version. And that alone makes Disneyland better. It is. I like it so much better than the original.
We can argue about that someday. I'm like a purist, but again, I can't even say I'm a purist because they changed Tower of Terror and it's way better.
And now it's your favorite. I know.
You guys gonna be at D23? I'm assuming yes.
So we'll have Carly from our team will be there. Yes.
Okay. Are you going to be out there at all that week?
I won't. I am going to be in Florida with my. Oh wait, no. I leave for Florida right after with my family for our big 11-day trip because
you guys have a booth at the.
Yes, we'll have a booth. We're actually sharing a booth with Mice Chat.
Nice.
So
I will definitely stop by and say hey to Carly for sure. She's helped me out. She helped us out with all the hotel stuff and everything. Yeah.
She's so awesome.
You guys are all awesome. I've dealt with Jen. I've dealt with Rachel.
Yes. She's awesome.
Carly. That's who I personally have dealt with, like getting emails from you guys or setting up for the tour thing. But yeah, this has been awesome. Do you have anything else you want to go over about Getaway Today? What's coming up? What we should be looking for? I would say 2023 is just around the corner. We will have pricing for that really soon with Getaway Today. You can book. I can't stress enough, booking early. You can hold your package for next year, even for $175 down. And then you just pay off. It technically can be paid off 7 days before, but you don't get your tickets released until final payments made. So we recommend paying off about a month before you go. But it's you do that for so cruises easy. Too? Cruises are all a little bit different, but we do have payment plan options for cruises. They normally depend on the sale date. When we're
depends on the cruise line.
When we're done with this, let's talk for a second.
Yeah, let's talk. We'll talk. I'll get you to the cruise people. They know way more
there you
than
go.
I do.
Perfect. Kim, again, like I told you before, you guys have been awesome. When I started this show, I had no idea that there was this thing called affiliates, and I signed up immediately. And when we started the Walt's Apartment podcast, you guys have been with us since we started. I can't thank you guys all enough. I mean, I know we're not big in your thing, but we're trying. I'm trying to push it as much as we can. I got some plans to get it out there more, but tell everyone where they can find you guys and how to get in touch with you. Yes. Besides the link in our bio down at the bottom of the show. First, go to the link in the bio below, because that is going to be the Shawn specific link. But you can find us at getawaytoday.com. You can also call our office at 855-GETAWAY. Just let us know that Walt's Apartment Podcast sent you. And then we are on social, so we love to connect with our guests there. But yeah, we love it. Thank you so much for having me. This was thank you such a treat for doing this. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much. And hang around for a second. So thank you so much. I appreciate it, Kim. Thank you. All right. Back to the show. Again, I can't thank him enough for taking the time to join me and just talk about Getaway Today, talk about the hotels, talk about what's coming up for Halloween. After we did the interview, we talked for a few minutes, and she express some interest in possibly coming on like every month and kind of going over what Getaway Today is offering, different tips and tricks for booking, stuff like that. So we're hoping to hear a lot more from Kim in the future. And all the people at Getaway Today have been, like I said during the interview, have been completely amazing to all of us here at Walt's Apartment Podcast. So Kim, thank you so much for taking the time for us again. I hope you enjoyed the interview and hope you enjoyed learning more about our sponsor, Getaway Today. And if you do and or are looking to book a trip, it's very easy. You just go click on the link below, and they can basically just start you from beginning to end and help you plan everything from dining to tickets to where you want to stay, any kind of specials that they actually offer for their different, hotels that they have, special perks for some of the hotels. But again, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Extra Magic Hour. Make sure you check out all of our other shows, Knights of the Rogue Republic, Marvel Tribe, Walt's Apartment Live, every Wednesday night on Facebook. And until next time, hope you have a magical day. Good night, everyone.